Fuck yeah, they should. Lying should be a crime for men and women. When a man or woman, majority of it's women, make an accusation, not just rape, but for anything, they should have 24 hours of proof and a lie detector test. And if they fail, they should go to jail. Period. How many false accusations, how many times do women throw people on these internet websites, these hate websites, and they mouth them off and they make all these fake accusations trying to tarnish a man's name? It's embarrassing. It has to stop. Lying should be a crime, because then guess what? When lying's a crime, politicians can't lie either. Judges can't lie, cops can't lie. It should be a crime. Why is that not a crime? Ask yourself that. It's absolutely absurd. Maybe because everyone lies. There'd be people in jail all the time. If you want to go in court and you want to make an accusation, you should be on a lie detector test and have absolute proof that it happened. Or don't say it. Period. That needs to be a crime, and we're going to change that. We're going to get some people in power, legislators, to get that change, because that will hold everyone accountable for what they say. And for example, in the UK, they got rid of paternity testing because 30% of the births weren't the father's kids. That's insane. Imagine 30% chance in the UK that the kid isn't yours. And they got rid of it because men were leaving when they found out the kid wasn't theirs. Like, paternity tests should be mandatory for all births. It holds women accountable. And this is why our ancestors go back into the day where women were virgins until marriage for a reason. That's a huge another podcast another day. We'll go get that to another day. But this podcast is mainly about, has feminists lost the war?
She already had some kind of masculine features, like deeper voice, deeper whatever. She decided to be a man because she wanted to see how men were treated. Not sex change, an experiment. She ended up killing herself after like a year and a half of this because she said she was treated so horribly by women that she couldn't even believe that this is how men lived.
Men are suffering. They have different problems than women have, but they don't have it better.
And I was like, no fucking way. But I can see it. I can see that you guys don't speak up. You don't say the things that we need to hear because you want to love us. You want to support us. You want to be there for us. But you guys are supposed to be. You're supposed to be the strong one. Yeah. You're supposed to be these things. And yet we've been fighting to be your equal, fighting to be the alpha. And out of kindness, you guys are stepping back, but it's a losing war for both of us.
Yeah. Women have gotten so bad with this extreme feminism, Me Too movement bullshit that they want to be equal at all level. Men and women are not equal and never will be equal. We're not created the same at all. We're completely wired differently. Period. There's no discussion about it. It is true. Women have their superpowers. Men have their superpowers. We come together. We make the best yin-yang group. Now, what she's talking about, men have it so much harder. They do. Men are born with nothing. Women are born with beauty. A woman that's hot 19 and 20-year-old can just show up on a boat, yacht party, and get the world handed to her. A man has to get in shape, get his money right, be decent looking, get a car, nice house, find ways of all this income, blah, 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 to even be noticed by women. And now women treat men like shit. Women think they're on this little pedal high horse that they can treat men like shit. And you're only treating men like shit because men allow it, because men just want you to be happy. Men are the superior, stronger sex. We just physically are. Like, feminism is only in first world countries. When you go to harder countries, feminism is not a thing. Everyone falls back to traditional roles because that's just what works for millions of years. And we need to go back to that. That being said, here we go.
Lauren down here from the Herald Sun again. Just another quick one about Angela's question on equality just before. We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport? And we heard you say on the Ellen show the other day you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter, not because Dana and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice for the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
Hey guys, Casper.
Amen. Just for example, like the women's NBA is only surviving because the NBA pays them to play. A lot of you don't even know that. You know, there's a reason why there's men's sports and women's sports. The reason why men's sport is more popular than women's sports is because it's way more aggressive. I bet a lot of you can't even name top draft picks or 5 players on a women's sport anywhere in the world. Now, that being said, we're going to go do some more videos proving that feminism is dying. Women are starting to wake up and being like, you know, especially like feminism's cool if you're like in your early 20s because you have all of these men after you. You have the world by your hand and you have all of these men thrown in the friend group. You have these women have guys that will pick them up at 2 a.m. from bad dates, a Chad that will blow their back outs, a guy that will take them for free dinners, a guy that will take them for shopping. They have this huge roster. And that being said, when a guy knows that and he has to go on a date to even crack that roster to see where he places in that roster, it makes dating impossible nowadays. Like, I'm so glad I'm not single and never will ever be single again. Single just looks like an absolute nightmare in today's dating world. Oh, pause. Resume. Now, I knew feminism was about to die because the draft is now being mandatory in the States, and they're thinking about making it mandatory for women. And they're also thinking about doing it in Canada and the UK, which is a brilliant idea. The military is getting so concerned with recruiting numbers that they're turning away 64% of new recruits because of just obesity problems, that now they're thinking about bringing women in there. Women want equal rights. That means equality on all levels. It's a double-edged sword. This is why I cheered for equal rights when it first came. Like, oh my God, women have to pay taxes. They have to work. They have to go fight in the military. They have to go in the front lines and go fight masculine men in other countries. They actually get bombs thrown at them. They have to do what a man has to do when it's time to be a man. I can't wait for this to happen because the day it happens, you put all the feminists and all those weak little pussy males and the politicians in the front lines, it ends all of our problems tomorrow. All of us traditional people can sit back and build families and just make North America great again.
If women are drafted to the military, I am most excited to see the confrontation between commanding officers and the girls.
Between commanding officers and the girls? Oh dear.
Think we're going to let you yell at us? You think we're going to do something without a please and thank you?
Please allow me to introduce a little reality into this situation, because personnel in the military are under legal obligation to follow all lawful orders that they are given. And a please and a thank you are not required.
We've all had controlling ex-boyfriends. We know not to put up with that bullshit.
It's almost as if they're not understanding that it's not just men that are in positions of authority in the military.
Like, let's sit down and have a conversation about what you want and what I want, and we'll reach a happy medium. Because there's no way I'm doing what you want when you use that tone with me. You think you can push us around like you do with these men? Think again, baby. You're gonna learn some manners.
And I think one would learn very quickly that having a bad attitude and obvious problems with people in positions of authority wouldn't get one very far. But most importantly, the Uniform Code of Military Justice doesn't play.
If women are drafted to the military...
Right there is the definition of entitlement. This is the majority of the younger generation. We need this so bad as a nation to get us back 100 years ago. People, we've had it so good for so long. My intro should show what a entire generation fought for our freedoms to make us have this much ego grow out of that. We haven't had hard times in so long that it's bred the most weakest, pathetic generation on the planet. It's embarrassing. They never seen turmoil. They never seen anything bad in their life. This is the definition of attitude correction, and the best place to get that is military training. They should make military training mandatory for all North American countries from graduation out of high school till 25. Just pound it out, make strong men, make strong women, give women a reality check and give men a reality check of how good we have it over here and that we must stand up and fight for our country and our way of living. It has to happen, and it's going to get that, and we need to get it. Now, what women are starting to transition to is the trad wives. But we're going to start off with this one first.
I was a feminist when feminism was about equality, about levelling the playing field, giving women an opportunity to find their rightful place, particularly in the public world, which was tremendously important and exciting when we achieved that. But what feminism today, to me, is all about advantaging women at the expense of men. And it's become very much caught up in the demonisation of males and presenting them always at a disadvantage.
It honestly offends me that there is an entire ideology built on the premise that I, as a woman, require sacrifice from others simply so that I could contend with the world around me. Being a woman has never held me back. So feminism had its cute little run for 50 years, but it's time to hang it up and accept a basic reality. Men and women are different. We have different desires, different tendencies, and different responsibilities. We are not meant to be men, and we are certainly not meant to disrespect and degrade masculinity. So stop celebrating femininity as something superior to masculinity and start celebrating both as valuable pillars to our well-being and culture.
Finally, a woman gets it. Billy Ray Brandt should be held or protected at all costs. Women are starting to wake up. Natalie's one of them. Billy Ray Brandt's one of them. There's actually quite a few waking up, and it's just beautiful to see women are starting to dress more traditional, more casual, understanding what men actually want, and not instead of expecting what they want. Women need to understand what a man wants and what we actually value. We genetically wired for rarity and purity and peace of mind. Those are 3 things all women should study from birth to understand what men really want, and vice versa. Men need to understand what it takes to earn a woman like that. Women, you can get mad at me, but I'm also here to attack men too. I honestly believe that if men were a lot stronger, all alpha mindsets, that women would fall in line. Because when a man is truly put together and he's truly disciplined, he has a zero tolerance for bad behavior. Bad behavior on all fronts. How he's talked to, how he's treated. A true man will provide for his family, work 100 hours a week, put a roof over their head, and die for them. And when a woman finds a man like that, it doesn't matter what financial level he's on, he's still getting up there, earning his keep. Treat him with respect and treat him like a king. If you want to be treated like his queen, you have to treat him like a king from day one. You never should have to make a man earn you. A man has to earn you. That being said, we're going to see what women are starting to go transition to.
I think it's been really interesting to see how shocked people are by the term trad wife and how they seem to think it's some new way of living, like it's some unprecedented new trend. Like, have you seen these millennial and Gen Z girls? They just want to be at home with their kids. They want to have husbands and they want to take care of their husbands. They want to cook and they want to clean and they want to wear dresses. It's insane. When in reality, it's literally like the oldest lifestyle in the book. Before this, they were just called stay-at-home moms. And before that, they were just called women. But now our society has gone so far in the feminist direction that anybody who wants to live like a little bit old school and a little bit like how women used to live is fringe, right? Like an extremist. And I just think about how so many of us, since we were little, we were raised in this kind of boss babe feminist society that told us you can be so much more than just a mom. You can be so much more than just a wife. And so many of us listened and we, tried to climb corporate ladders and we boss babed so hard. Now, like, we're a little bit boss babed out. And some of us want to go a little bit more back to our roots, to our ancestors, to the women who came before us and live a little bit more, like they did. Call us crazy, but we like babies. We want to have babies. We want to spend the very few years that we have of them being little with them. We like cooking, we like running a home, we like supporting our husbands and having good marriages. And yes, we also appreciate cute dresses. The audacity. So call them trad wives, call them stay-at-home moms, call them whatever you want. But just know that no matter how much you try and push the career and the boss babe and the feminist lifestyle onto women, there will always be women who naturally want a more traditional lifestyle. Just like the billions of women who came before us. I think it's been really...
Why is this not fucking normal? This should be fucking normal. This is how women look how beautiful that chick is. Put together, perfectly natural, nice dress, totally covered up. Everything's for her man's eyes only. Like why feminist is only cool, like I said, in your early 20s. And then guess what? As a woman starts aging, she starts losing her value. Men want there's a worldwide study. Men only want girls from 19 to 24. That is it. Like, that's their preference if they could pick. Men only date girls over 30. It's called broke pussy. It's because it's all they can get. It's not their actual preference. I can guarantee it. Women, I'm here to be honest with you, because men are not honest with you about how they actually think. I prove it every time. When a man's wife leaves the room and it's just the boys, he transforms into this different person that you never see. Like, you can see his overweight wife on the beach, and then the boys are behind, and they're both staring at this girl with a nice ass walking by that's in her early 20s, and they're all talking about how much they want to fuck her. The number one thing all guys talk about when it's just the boys, they never talk about their girlfriends or their wives. They talk about some girl they want to bang or their mistress. It's like all a competition who has the hottest mistress, or how many girls they can get, or money in sports. That's it. Men are so simple and so basic. You know, back to this tradwife thing. This is such a beautiful thing to protect. Like, there's nothing wrong with staying home and cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids. That's the most important fucking job for the human species, is raising our youth. God designed you, or the universe, or what do you want to call it, designed women to have the most important fucking job. Go back to that. Like, and I know this will happen, because one thing, the new boss babe mentality, where you work as a career and, you know, you fucking push off children till 40, and then you might want to have one, but then you have to freeze your fucking eggs. You know, the reason why birth rates are dropping is because of that mentality. And the dating world is so shit out there that men are going through the garbage cans looking for the less fucked up one. Like, and then that mindset will die off. I will guarantee you it. Why do you think the woke agenda is going after our children so much? Because they know they need more numbers, because their numbers are dying off. And us traditional people are going to stay back, and we're going to outbreed them. And then our way of living will become back. Period. The tradwife thing has been around for thousands and thousands of years. There's nothing more satisfying than me working my ass off and knowing my Natalie, my kid, are at the lake house all summer, and she's not fucking working, because I could provide that lifestyle for her while daddy stays home, pays the fucking bills. I go visit them twice a week. We're out there because daddy's got to work over here. But it makes me feel good inside to be that type of man, to provide for her, because I'm a real fucking man. I'm not that broke little pussy that most of you are. Now, let's go back to this one.
The tradwife belongs to TikTok's Momosphere, the corner of the app where mothers and wives post content related to cooking, relationships, and parenting. The tradwife will post content centered around domestic life, sharing aesthetic vlogs, preparing a meal for her children with the ingredients often made from scratch, or cleaning the house, sometimes with homemade cleaning supplies. But there is an important distinction to be made here. Tradwife is not an online aesthetic. It is not a type of content creator, and it is not a stay-at-home mom who likes to cook for her family. Tradwife is an ideology rooted in white supremacy. It is Nazi propaganda. And though tradwives claim to be empowered by this lifestyle, its core values are deeply anti-feminist. Assistant professor of anthropology at Elon University, Devin Proctor notes, quote, "Tradwives promote traditional gender roles in family life, wherein the man provides for and protects the family, and the woman has children and takes care of the family's needs. Tradwives believe that the place of the woman is in the home, justifying this perspective through various political, religious, and personal beliefs. By embracing traditional principles, tradwives claim that opting for a more conventional path in marriage does not diminish their rights. The recent popularity of TikTokers like Nara Smith has created both increased interest in the trad lifestyle and a misunderstanding of what a tradwife actually is."
I can't believe how people think being traditional tradwife, or even traditionalism, is white supremacy. Now, do your own homework. Go back and watch like movies or YouTube shows of like, you know, old recordings of like the 1930s or even the 1800s. Look how much more beautiful people were back then. People were generally fit. People were generally happy. I don't understand where women think they were so unhappy back in the day. You didn't have to pay taxes. You didn't have to work. You just stayed and took care of the kids and hung with other moms while the men worked their asses off, broke their backs for their family. Like, you have to remember, like I said earlier, feminism is cool in the early 20s, but then you start aging, and as soon as you hit 30, there's a stat. When a woman hits 30 or mid-30s, and she's a career woman, makes it CEO, whatever it is, lawyer, whatever it is. 80% of the time she quits because she realizes how much bullshit it is and there's zero fulfillment. And she goes and tries to start a family with whatever guy that will take her in her middle 30s. Fulfillment. Let's talk about that because women don't understand what that is. Like Andrew Tate always says, no one gives a fuck about your Gucci handbag or how many handbags you have. When you are older in life, in your 70s, 80s, the only thing that matters is family, period. Kids that come and see you. Yeah, you have lots of friends in your teens and your 20s and your 30s, but then people start getting married off and going their separate ways, move around, travel around the world, whatever it is. And 40s get lonely. 50s are even lonelier. 60s are very lonely if you don't have a family. This is why I fight with my brother and his girlfriend all the time, how they don't want to have kids. And his girlfriend wants to travel. My brother doesn't fly at all. And I'm just cross-eyed. I'm like doing the math. I'm like, 2 + 2 is 6. It doesn't make sense. So how are you going to travel if you don't fly? And I know he wants kids. He's just the guy that dates total zeros. Total zero means like she's a feminist, very large. Goes on girls' trips. Doesn't post any pictures of Snapchats or video of anything. So major red flags. He's the type of guy that stays home while she's on girls' trips and pays the bills and sits and waits for her to come home so he can stand up. When she went on her last girl trip, I was like, hey man, you want to go for drinks? Let's go out. She's going out. Let's go out. No, I want to stay home. I don't want to disrespect my girl. I'm like, how is that disrespecting your girl? You're going out with your brother. I haven't seen you in like 4 years. Some of these guys, when they get girlfriends and they get their dick wet, they disappear. And I'm like, I tell him, I'm not going to say his name, but I'm like, this girl is not good for you. She's a they, them weirdo, and she's very large. You know, you should probably go back to the drawing board on that one. And he's also in his middle 30s. And she doesn't want to buy a house with him, nothing, doesn't want to spend any money with him. I think that you're just the temporary guy until she finds the guy that she really wants. And also big red flag. She didn't post him on her social media for 2 years. So let that sink in. Anyways.
I swear I have never been more convinced in how truly different men and women are until we started talking about the possibility of World War III on TikTok. These are the types of videos that I'm seeing men post. The hype. I feel like I'm watching a Marvel movie. Meanwhile, these are the types of videos that I'm seeing women post.
Ladies 18 to 26, hope you're ready to get drafted. It is not just the boys.
I'm not ready right now. I just woke up, I was gonna shower and wash my hair, but let me know where it is, and if I'm feeling up for it, maybe I can meet you at the battle.
Okay, but the best part by far, though, is the comments on that video from other women. Cadet Kelly didn't prepare me for this. Are we eating before or after? Can't really do war on an empty stomach. I can't. I'm trying to save money right now. What are you guys wearing? Are we going for a cute or comfy look? I just checked my calendar and my hair washing schedule isn't going to line up. You guys have fun, though. My mom said we got battles at home. Does anyone know if we can bring friendship bracelets to trade? Ooh, I just got my period, so I can't this week. Try again same time next month. You girls have fun though. I'll be there in spirit. Okay, but actually, if we had a draft, do you think women would agree to go?
Actually, the best thing about the draft, if you get drafted and you don't go, guess what? You go to prison. So either way, it's a win-win. Honestly, I've been trying to say this for a while now, that the best way to fix our society, I think, is another war. I honestly do believe that. And just hear me out. I know killing other people in war is disgusting. I understand that. But just hear me out, just logically, just the big picture. Our society is so far gone. Men and women are so far apart that there is no actually bringing them together. There's nothing. It's maybe 40 years and more feminism, but birth rates are going to drop so low that we're actually on the verge of a population collapse, which is going to collapse the economy, housing prices, which is probably not a bad thing, but it's going to collapse everything. You're going to see more older people than young people. It's not going to be a pretty sight. But there's another approach. When there's a war, it really straightens people out and also brings a nation back together. The first 2 world wars got us out of severe poverty and just really dark times. And it really straightened people. It made men men again, and it made women women again. Because women really understood quickly. Like, just read those comments, like listen to those comments, how bad they were. Like, people need a major reality check of what can happen in this world. You know, when you travel the world, feminism is very like, they laugh at it because it's just a Western world thing. It will never spread. You know, a lot of cultures out there will never allow it because men and women understand their roles and they know what works best and how to get their society moving forward.
Men are pathetic and have low self-esteem, and as a female, if you ask them out or give them a compliment, like, you're making wonders for them.
Well, yeah, that's true, because most men never have the experience of a woman asking them out, so they'll probably remember that for the rest of his life, whereas most women get asked out so frequently they don't even remember it later that day.
It makes them feel special, and everyone wants to feel special. It's like, that's also why females like when men approach and they don't necessarily want to approach men, is because, like, it feels good. And also asking someone out is, like, extremely terrifying for a lot of people, especially men.
What you're saying is that women are privileged.
No, I would say.
Of course they are.
Okay, well, yes, but.
You know what the crazy thing about asking a girl out in today's world, like 10 years ago, so different, such a different world. Like 10 years ago, dating, like you could literally have 6 girls on the girl or 7 girls on the go, 1 for every week. Like, it was so easy. Now, that's my single days, so don't get mad. But today, asking a girl out, for example, see a girl at a gym, like say a girl wearing booty shorts and a crop top in the male section doing squats. So I'm like, okay, obviously she's available. She's got a huge for sale sign on her. So you go and approach her, and then you just talk to her, blah, blah, blah. And then you ask her out, and then some of them say they have a boyfriend. I'm like, you have a boyfriend, you're wearing booty shorts and your pussy lips are all showing and you got your nipples wrecked out of your crop top and you're doing squats in the guys section. You should be, does your boyfriend know that you're working out like this? Because you're clearly for sale. We should be calling out girls like that more often. Like, get your fucking ass in the girl section and cover up if you have a boyfriend. Have some respect for him. And the other thing is, like, they'll reject you. And then it's just like, okay, I'm a 7-figure earner, 5'11", I drive a Range Rover and a BMW. I own like 10 properties. I'm decent looking, like I'm a solid 6 or 7. Like, how are you rejecting me? Like, honestly, I think I'm better looking than you. And then a couple weeks later, you see the guy that they go on a date with. Looks like he works at Walmart. And he's a skinny little white guy. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this world? Like, I'm going across and I'm spinning around. I'm going to pass out. The world is fucking backwards right now. I don't even know what's going on. And apparently, it's just a Canadian thing. You can go to the States and it's fucking normal down there. Like, you are successful, people acknowledge it, and they come after you. Canadian women, I don't know what it is up your butts, but you were unapproachable. And like, there are guys that are way better looking than I am, and they still approach you and you still reject them. And I have no idea what your dating logic is. It's like, it's honestly, it's the most fucked up thing that's going on right now. You know, some of my boys are like 6'6", tattooed, jacked, suit and tie, rolling in Lambos, and you reject them. And honestly, I had an epiphany. It's just a lower mainland thing. So for people that are not from BC, Canada, it's like the outskirts of, like, say, LA. So, like, you know, when you go to Vancouver, the city, it's very normal. Women actually dress to impress there. And I'll give them applause. Vancouver women, you do well. You actually are pretty in shape compared to the suburban girls. But when you go outside of Vancouver, women are wearing sweatpants and crop tops, no makeup, ugly fucking Air Jordans or ripped up Nike Air Maxes. And it's just like, you look like you're a homeless person. And is there like a weird thing in school now or college now that like, whoever dresses the ugliest wins? Like, whatever happened to taking care of yourself and trying to look your best? You know, it's really gross. And like honestly, I don't think it's the kid's fault. I think it's just bad parenting. You know, I was raised, you don't leave the house unless you look good, period, because your representation. Natalie doesn't leave the house unless she looks good and she's covered up, because she's a representation of my family. And I don't leave the house unless I'm looking stellar, because I'm a representation of her as her man, and as a representation of my kids, that we're successful and we're disciplined, and that we want to be an example of what people should be. So, ladies, if you could help me in the comment section, help me understand that, shed some light. If you even want to come on the podcast and have a honest, healthy debate, I would love that, because I would love to learn your perspective too, because I'm always here to learn and also here to be corrected myself, also to correct you.
Would you consider yourself a feminist?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want equality?
Yes.
So when it comes to equality, do you think that women should make up like 50% of the military?
No.
Why? If you want equality?
I don't, I think I'm anti-military, so I don't really believe in like people going to war and like fighting and stuff.
Okay.
I also don't believe that like women should be forced to fight. I do feel like that men are physically able to do things that like women would have to train a lot longer to do. So I don't think it's fair to make a woman do those kind of roles. And yeah, like I feel like not all elements of life have to be 50-50 for equality to be there.
50-50 equality. Now, how I tried to understand it, for example, I'll tell you my world. The man pays for everything 99.9% of the time. It's my job as man to pay for everything, period. And I would never want a girl to pay for anything. But yes, I like being treated once in a while, appreciation, take her for dinner, maybe help with a bill or two if you want to. Offer, like the offer is nice because it makes you feel like you're appreciated and not just being used as a bank card. Now, my brother and his girl, they're literally 50-50. And if that's what they want to do, you know, that's what they want to do. But I learned one thing about women. When a woman is 50-50 with you, like when she's looking equal with you, she looks at everything else and starts wondering what else is out there. When a woman is looking up at you because you're taking care of her, she has tunnel vision. She only looks at you. She doesn't even think about other men. Like, it doesn't even cross her mind. When you have a woman constantly looking up at you in your relationship, she will never leave you because that means she respects you. When a woman starts going back to level-headed with you, or the worst case scenario, looking down at you because she's paying the bills. Like, I've met some total dime pieces out there that literally pay all the bills while their boyfriend sits on the couch playing video games. And I'm just like cross-eyed, spinning, puking. Math doesn't make sense anymore. I want to like blow my house up. Because I'm like, this girl's a 10 and she's like with this guy that's farting his underwear playing video games. Like, and you bang this guy and you suck him off. What am I missing here? Like, I'm going crazy. Like, the world's fucking gone mad. That being said, men, if you want your woman to respect you, always keep them looking up at you. When you enter a relationship, sit your woman down. If she's a prospect, like a potential to be the wife. If she's just another side chick, treat her like a side chick. That being said, I'm going to bleed this into another podcast I want to talk about is how to get women behave. How to get them to behave. You never tell a woman what to do, ever. And I will teach you how to do that on the next podcast. Thanks everyone for coming on this podcast and tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and have yourself a great night.